Sup everybody, this is Christopher Bonilla Fernandez, and as of June 2020, I have officially and successfully published 3 books. Anyways, in moving on, this video is going to be my experience when it comes to marketing your published work to your friends and loved ones. When I was 18 years old, I published my first book, and one of my marketing strategies was to have someone else sell my books for me, while I would do it more locally to friends and family close by. And I did that because my books are only available online. And so I was given several free author copies of my book, and so I had my friends sell them for me in our high school. Meanwhile, I would tell my friends and loved ones and use other social media platforms and online programs to spread the word of my book. I used Facebook, Instagram, Rap Genius, Twitter, Tumblr, Pinterest, and Goodreads. And it was a great first year coming out as an 18-year-old author, but after a few months, things got a little complicated. Since at that time I wasn't going to college, I had to work really odd jobs here and there. Stay in school, kids. You won't regret it. Anyways, like I said, I worked at strange jobs, but even though that was the case, I was still able to tell my coworkers about my book. The only problem is that others around me, especially like my coworkers, they were also struggling financially. And so I didn't feel too comfortable in telling them to support my book financially. Also, around that time, I heard a homily from a faith-based author who said, at times, it's best to give your work away for free, especially if you're just starting out. And I'm like, that's stupid. Boy, was I wrong. And so I did as I was inspired to do so, and I gave away my books for free. I still do it now, but at a more local level when it comes to friends who I know who just want a copy of my book. I just give it away. Anyways, around the same time, I heard a sermon from another faith-based author who said, it's important for creatives to invest in themselves. In doing that, while I was working my odd jobs, my book sales for Running Lips went really down. Also, at the same time, I was looking to publish another book because I kept on writing. And so I was in quite a dilemma. And as the situation got more complex, I repeated the same step of inspiration, which was to invest in myself. In doing that, I spent several of my own paychecks buying my own books from Barnes & Noble's websites. I was literally becoming my own best customer and #1 fan. It got that bad. Why did I do it? Because even though I would tell my friends to support me and buy my books, many of them never did. Even to this day, after 7 years of being published and having 3 books under my name. I'm not complaining. I genuinely deep down love all my friends and family and supporters. I'm just not one to really force or pressure somebody into supporting me when they don't want to, or if they don't have the time. I'm more of somebody who wants to let somebody support me on their own accord. I don't know, maybe that side of me is still just very timid and cautious. At times it does feel a little odd, but I'm not ashamed. I'm just careful. Even though I knew full well my intention was to never rub my success in people's faces when it comes to telling them about my books or being an author at a young age, people had no idea how close I was to giving up writing, no matter how modest I delivered my cry for support. As I said, I bought my own books and became my own best customer, and by 2015, at the age of 21, I was able to work hard at my other jobs and published my second book, Lyrical Righteousness. Now by this time, most, if not all my friends, knew I wrote and write books. But I never carried myself with that prestige of being an author at a young age. Mainly because I look like this. Wild times. Also because I wasn't going to college while my friends were and getting their degrees and living out their life. Either way, I would hide my authorship when it comes to meeting new people at that time. And so my new marketing strategy, I kid you not, came from a more passive and non-verbal approach. And what I actually ended up doing was that I would actually get the link URL from the Barnes & Noble's website of my books and would leave a little YouTube comment with notes about who I am and the link to my website of the books. I left YouTube comments on sermons, homilies, Christian hip-hop videos, and things of that nature. I even left comments on Joel Osteen's sermon and Pope Francis's homilies. And believe it or not, it worked. I was shook too. But hey, I got feedback and I got replies. And within that same season, I sold more books than I ever did, for both Running Lips and Lyrical Righteousness. But I did it in those specific videos because I felt the viewers of those videos were my audience. Because I thought they liked what I liked as a writer and as a Christian. Which brings me to my next point. Your audience. By the age of 22, I had 2 books under my belt, and I knew one thing was for certain was my audience, which came from the genres of my book, which are Christianity and poetry. Including the subgenres, I wrote about romance, faith, friendship, struggle, determination, pain, adventure, all with faith heavily integrated. But since it was mainly slam poetry, what I did was I had a new marketing strategy. I had to physically go and tell others of my book. So what did I do? I went to open mics. And I would bring copies of my book, so after my set, if they enjoyed it, I could just give away a copy for free. Truth be told though, out of the 5 books I brought of each book, only 1 was actually ever received. The rest I kept. But I knew one thing, my audience. Though the open mic thing sort of failed, it was because I was very apprehensive and nervous when I performed. I even stuttered, which perhaps was my downfall. Either way, from 21 to 24, I legit stopped marketing everywhere. I would literally work to buy my own books. And then eventually I would just give those books away to libraries, donation centers, or other bookstores. During that time, I would meet new friends and I would tell them that I'm an author. I'm unashamed of it. And they'll be like, oh, cool, nice. I'll buy your book. To which I responded, all right, cool, thanks. But I never followed up. And as of my 25 years on this planet, I have met 8 other writers, out of which only 4 or 5 have actually gone to publish their books, and the others are still writing theirs now. But I know they will have my support. And even though that's the case, I'm the only one that I know of those authors who is doing YouTube as well. Not just for fun, but to reach a bigger audience. Like I mentioned before in my other videos, I will do poem breakdowns on this channel from my books. Anyways, one of the last things I want to offer as wisdom is to not be afraid to try new methods of outreach for your books in order for you to reach your audience. Marketing is hard and you won't always succeed to your expectations, but that doesn't mean you should not try. I posted comments on YouTube and my success grew a little bit, so with the right faith and work ethic, I believe anything is possible. Anyways, I really hope this video offered some insight when it comes to sharing your creative work. I do plan on making more videos of this topic. As always, please leave your questions, recommendations, concerns, challenges in the comment section down below. I promise I will get to as many as possible. Thank you, gracias, xie, merci, happy writing, and stay blessed. Also, I want to give a big shout out to the homie I Am Rescued. That was his music playing in the background of this video. I'm gonna leave the links and his info to where you can find him and his music in the description box below. Gracias, mi gente. Bendiciones.